So we've got as far as making and texturing the room now. It's time to add some entities in there, make the map come alive slightly. The first thing we usually add in these maps is somewhere for the player to start when he opens the level. So using our entity tool over here, go down to this menu on the right, and you can see the default one is always info player start anyway. So we're going to use that and left click in the 3D view, and hopefully, yep, there we go. That's appeared now. You can see it's a crude model of the player, but basically when the map spawns, this is where the player will start. And we can rotate that if we want him to face different directions. This is also a good idea to put in your map so you can get an idea of how high the player is, so you don't lose your bearings when you're making your walls and etc. So we won't leave it at that. We'll add some weapons in there for him. Using the entity tool again, head down to this menu and we'll scroll down to the bottom. As you can see, we've got quite a selection of weapons there. We'll give him a shotgun to play with. As you can see, we've put in there now. And what we'll do is we'll give him something to shoot. And like any map that's ever been made, we'll put some barrels in there. So we'll use the prop physics. If you scroll up. Okay, prop physics. This is the entity for all things that the player can interact with, in this case barrels. So we'll left click on the 3D view again. Now we need to just set some options in there, so you can double click this or hit Alt Enter. We'll go to World Model and Browse. Give this a second and the model viewer should come up. I use the older one because I think it's a lot better, but you may have the green one come up. So, whichever one you've got, go to Prop C17, and hopefully in a second we should get a view of all those models come up. Here we go. Scroll down, you're looking for oil drum. That's the one we're going to use. There it is. Double click that. So let's put the path in there for you and hit apply, and that barrel's appeared. There's plenty of other options there, but we use skin. We can change the kind of barrel that's got. Some models come with different skins. And we'll just lower the grid size slightly. We can put that roughly level with the ground, not touching, but just above it. And we'll use the shift and clone. We'll make a couple of them for him to play with. Right, so at the moment we've got something to do, but we can't see anything, so we better add some lights in there. I'm just going to use the basic light entity, which is this one here. I'm just going to pop that there, bring that down slightly. So if you go into the properties of the light, you can set the brightness of that, so we'll have it a bit darker than pure white. Obviously you can choose any other colours, get a disco going if you really fancy it. And obviously you can change things if it's flickering, etc. But for now we'll leave that. Okay, the last thing we'll add is just somewhere for that light to come from, because obviously the golden rule is not to have lights with no source. So for this case we'll need a prop static, which is slightly different. This is for things that won't move in the map. We'll find that there. Just click on the ceiling, and then we'll double click that. And World Model, Browse. So it loads the folder we were just in, but we're not going to use that one, we're just going to go up. I'm just now going to go to Props Wasteland, which is a few useful light models in here. Let's wait for that to come up, here we go. Alright, so we scroll down, just looking through until you find the a light fitting. We've got a couple of lamps here, so I'm going to use this prison lamp. And apply. What we need to do now is just make sure it's lined up with the ceiling. So I can do like that. There we go. And just pop the light entity underneath that. So there we go. There's at least something to do in your map now. And what we'll cover in the next one is how to compile that map, check for errors, and actually get it going in game.